We'll get John on in just a moment here.
Yep,
Get his
it
audio.
is. I just hit the button. Somebody else hit it again. But we're
There we
back here midweek. Glad to be here as we get closer to the start of the college football season. And I got to tell you, Barry, a lot of celebration, a lot of revelry. I was with some of my Auburn friends last night. They invited me out with them, celebrating the national championships. I'm surprised I made it in today. I mean, it was a long night of celebration, and good for them.
Revelry.
Missing was Philip Marshall, who probably helped compile all this information to give to John Cohen.
Yeah, John's one of those guys, man. If you want to celebrate, he's the guy to call. It may be an hour or two into it, maybe 3 hours into it, when John says, "Hey, what's the deal? I mean, what are we? Oh, I don't know. It's so-and-so's birthday. Oh, yeah. Hey, happy birthday, or whatever, Yesterday, a couple of Bud Lights in, John says, "Hey, man, I know there's a bunch of obs here. What's the it's the Cam Newton getting his jersey. No. It's the national championships."
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to ask anybody. I was busy yesterday, any of my Auburn friends, whether or not it's true that, there's signage inside Jordan-Hare Stadium right now. They have this thing locked and loaded. So, and of course, there's reaction to that, not just from John and me. National hosts, they're having, their say in all of that. And one of them, I would consider him not a national voice, but a voice who commands a certain amount of respect. Philip Marshall. He is a senior college football writer for auburnundercover.com. Auburn fan, Philip, this is one more Philipism that I like. This reporter knew all along that, so-and-so.
Yeah.
And he points out, Bama fans are going to criticize because that's what fans do.
Come on.
But,
that.
This all started with Wayne Atchison. And I don't know, I've met Wayne Atchison before, way back when. He was the sports information director at Alabama for a long time, way back when. Fine man.
Oh, yeah.
A life filled with good works. But that's all he's really going to be remembered by, is that one summer when he had a little extra time. The team wasn't that great the year before. He didn't have, a whole lot to pump up. So he did a little research. And he's, this is before Google. This is before the internet. And he's getting into the University of Alabama library and going back, past the coloring books, past the Dick and Jane and all that kind of stuff. And he's getting into the heavy stuff. Would this be
at the Gorgas Library, or would you have had to have gone to the Tuscaloosa Municipal Library? Where do you find this type of information back
That's then? A good question, because I don't know if there were any back copies of Ed and Ned Litkenhouse's college football cavalcade or anything like that. But he said, hey, these guys, they awarded us a national championship in 1940-something. Who knew? And so he compiled, I wonder what else is out there. Helms?
The Dunkel Dozen?
Dunkel, and so he found out, and I think he added, I don't know if he added 7. He may have added just a couple more, but all of a sudden you wake up and Alabama at that point had 12 national championships. It says
they did.
It certainly did. And he was the one that started it all. He was the father of retroactive national championships.
And 40 years later, Philip Marshall went to John Cohen with all of this information that he'd been researching over the years and says, here it is for you. I think you need to do it. Now, nobody told me that. I've been reading Philip
a logical guy.
I've been reading him a long time. And in between the lines, I'm piecing it together. Yeah. Who got all this together? I think I got a pretty good idea, but that's just one man's opinion. It doesn't really
Well, it could have been.
As I was with my Auburn friends last. Barry, they were celebrating. I'm telling you, they're happy. There's a lot of body getting. I was dapping and fist bumping and
All right.
Yeah.
I'm out of character asking this because this is normally John. Normally meaning 999 times out of 1,000. Has anybody checked Toomer's Corner this morning?
Well, I brought that up during our little celebration last night. I also brought up, I got a lot of, hey, that's a great idea. That was one of them, the Toomer's Corner. The other was, does Tiger Rags have a national championship T-shirt available with the Nike swoosh on it?
Yeah, J&M, Anders Bookstore, those guys. Why not?
Is Tiger Rag still a place anymore?
I love that place. Love that place.
But Barry, you're talking about an easy money grab. I mean, just go out on the corner of Magnolia and Gay Street and set up a booth. You are selling these things like hotcakes.
Celebrate national championships. That's what you do. That's what you do. There are a couple of things about it, about this particular story, that are surprising to me.
Yeah.
Number one, how in the world did Auburn keep it quiet for that long? I mean, they're screen printing signs to put on the, at Jordan Hare. There's probably going to be plaques and stuff or flags and pennants on the outside. The other biggest surprising thing brought up by Bill from Baltimore. John knew the name of the library on campus.
How about that? McClure is where I spent most of my time, Bill. Gorgas is the big library.
In relation to when he spent time in the library,
true.
McClure was where he spent most of his time. There's nobody on God's green earth who believes that you spent most of your time as a student at the University of Alabama.
Well,
in the
I
library.
went to McClure to go get Gurn Sr. to say, hey, man, you want to go to Ferguson Center and shoot some stick? That's usually the reason I went to McClure, because he was down there studying. Now, let me backtrack real quick. Keeping this a secret. Barry, they've been keeping a $180,000 secret for 15 years. What do you mean keeping a secret?
All right. So now we got that out of the way. That reference is now in. I think, does it change the fact that, what are the big issues? I'm trying to remember what the big issues are. Does it change the fact that Hugh Freeze threw his visor down at practice? No. Does it change the fact that he has a guy that specializes in third down offensive play calls? No, it doesn't change that. Does it change the fact that they haven't had a good season in 6 years? No, it doesn't change any of that, but it's something, and does it float my boat? Hey, knock yourself out and everything. I mean, it's the same thing with Alabama. I lose track. The only way I ever even know how many national championships Alabama claims, and it's a lot to their credit, is whenever they pull out the helmet to bring to SEC Media Days, and the number on the side of the helmet always corresponds with the number of national championships they feel they won.
Are we going to see the little square stickers that go on the back of your car windshield, and now it says 9 in orange and blue with national championships underneath it? We're going to see those little stickers now. I know I've seen them in crimson
and white. This is Mr. Marketing here.
That say 18 on it. Look, I'm helping these bookstores out in Auburn. I mean, I need to get a cut of this, actually, to tell you the truth.
Not asking anything.
But, they're celebrating, Barry. It was a festive atmosphere. I mean, it was kind of like Norm at Cheers. I walked in last time. Whoa, hey, War Eagle, body getter. I'm giving them the Auburn love. So it was good. One other thing that did cut, because there were some other people there that were not affiliated with Auburn in any manner, more of a Crimson Tide persuasion.
Right.
I kind of I found my way leaning more toward over to their side of the room. I just couldn't handle all of the
snickering, elbowing each other in the ribs, pointing. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, the giddiness was just getting too much for me.
Understand.
And, this Bama crowd came into a conversation and said, you know what? Now that all these people are, tweaking and toying with these national championships out there, we need to start a petition to get rid of the 1941 national championship when they were like 9-3-1 or something like that.
Is that the one that Curtis was saying they actually finished 4th in the SEC that year?
Come on. Get rid of that one and then petition to get the 1966 year as a national. Somebody out there from the Billingsley Gazette to the Eufaula Daily to somebody had to have crowned Alabama the national champions in 1966.
Yeah.
Add that one, get rid of 1941. That's the new movement in Tuscaloosa.
Along with Mike Shula on as a pregame guest at a home game this year.
That's picking up momentum, Barry.
Those are two things that you can get behind, honestly.
Yes.
They really,
Now,
really are.
I got a question, and I don't know, a couple of things. Are there any photos out of the years being painted on Jordan-Hare Stadium? I'd like to see where they are, what it looks like, how they're cramming them all in there. I mean, wow, it's a lot of years they got to paint on the side of the stadium. Is it interior or exterior of Jordan-Hare? I'd like to know that too.
Oh, too, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Terry Bowden pencil drawing was on the exterior.
Yes, it was.
When it was there.
Yeah.
It hasn't been there. Well, it wasn't there for a very long time. It hasn't been there since for a very, very, very long time.
Don't get it. And you know what? Glad to see what was 83 one of the teams, Barry? It had to be. Coach Dye's 83 team. Was that one of the years that was awarded? Dadgum should have been. That was a heck of a team. His 83 team. Got to think it had to be. I mean, if any of them are, that one had to be.
Yep. I can look it up.
I have not gotten official confirmation yet, but I did bring it up yesterday when we were all talking about this when the news broke in hour number 2, and we were just really beside ourselves. I mean, we were so excited about it for this Auburn program. Have they rolled Toomer's corner? Because, Barry, if they're rolling it for Eli Manning coming to town for his TV show,
point.
They better be rolling it for this.
You don't that set John off immediately.
Yeah. Come on.
That set me when Eli came for that Manning's whatever it is that he's got with Peyton. You don't roll Toomer's corner on command. I'd take us back to the late great Jim Fife, who John and I both knew well and worked with, voice of the Auburn Tigers, and we spent time around him. And people would come up and say, "Hey Jim, how about a touchdown, Auburn?" And he said, "I never say it unless they're scoring one. You don't do it on demand." It's the same thing with rolling Toomer's corner. All right, I got my toilet paper. Okay, action in 3, 2. No, you don't do it. You do it for national championships. You do it for conference championships. You do it for big wins. This was a combination of national championships, and it was a big win for Auburn.
Yes.
Yeah. The Philip Marshall does point out these 9 Auburn teams that are, as of yesterday, recognized as national champions. Those 7 new ones that they've got had a combined record of 92-2.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I saw that as well. That is absolutely amazing.
And
now the teams that were on probation.
Yeah, 93.
Do those count?
Yeah.
Gene Stallings had some games scratched from his record book.
Right.
But I guess when you're, tallying up national championships, whether they count it or not really doesn't matter. I've never liked that rule anyway. I mean, you played the game. We all saw who won. What do you mean what do you mean they didn't win it? Come on. That
was one of the takeaways from yesterday's Michigan tap on the wrist that we talked about. You ain't having that anymore anyway, because that's not a thing anymore. When are we having Tubbs on again? We gotta ask him about it, because he was on record yesterday as basically saying what Philip is saying, basically saying what John Cohen is saying is it's about time.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll get in touch with his people today, because we need to have the coach back on right before the start of the season, get his thoughts about that. It was the 94 team, correct, for Tuberville? Is that right?
No, the 2004. 94. 93 was Bowden.
Yeah. Terry Bowden, 93. Tuberville, 04.
Correct.
Heck of a game. That was the Oklahoma Southern Cal deal.
Yep. And Southern Cal won it, but they had Reggie Bush, and they rendered him ineligible, took his Heisman away for a while, and vacated it. Officially, there is no 2004 national champion.
Well, there is today. There is today, thanks to Philip Marshall.
No, I don't know that you should give him credit for that.
Yeah.
He of course,
Yes.
being, and again, here we are talking about Philip. He says, and Philip writes, see, Auburn, that wasn't so hard.
Yeah.
After years of fretting, of thinking people would believe it was an attempt to copy Alabama,
which it was,
even a committee formed to study something that didn't really need studying, Auburn has done it.
Yeah, well, my question would be, if Wayne Atchison had not done that 40 years ago, would Auburn have done it yesterday?
Well,
we may never know.
That's the thing that surprises me. Number one, that John said, oh, they copied him 40-something years later. Wayne Atchison was the man who started it all.
Yeah.
He is the one that began it. Other schools have done it since. Other schools have done it a lot sooner than Auburn has done it. He is the father of the retroactive national champion.
Would that be on his tombstone? The father of the retro national championship. I like that.
Heck, whatever it was, the 1911 one, some guy has a computer program. I don't know who he is or where he is, dorm room in Muskingum or something, and said, that 1911 team, according to my computer readout here, says they should have won the national championship. So, some of them you may have a problem with, but all in all, heck, if everybody else is doing it and doing it for public relations and doing it for fan pride, why not Auburn?
How many times did your mother, as mine did, I don't care what little Timmy's doing. Yeah. I don't want you doing it.
Well, I mean, if it's something injurious, if it's something that, you could get a concussion or,
have I not heard Auburn people snicker and, make these little comments about, can you believe these Bammers saying they won a national title in 1941? Now they're in the same boat with them.
Yep, there you go.
Same boat. All right, here's a couple of deals here. All right, I'd like to know this information today. I could probably look it up, but I find it more enjoyable when people tell me on the chat line. They rolled Toomer's corner.
Number one, that's number one.
Yeah,
number one, we want to know. I don't think so, but they, if it was me, I'm rank and file Auburn fan. Heck yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah,
I'm out there a whole lot quicker than I am for Auburn High School's 2011. AHSAA Class 7A Golf Championship.
Or an equestrian. Anyway, they rolled it for Eli Manning's appearance to come to Auburn. They should roll it for the retroactive national championships in football. Number two, where can I get a new orange and blue Auburn t-shirt with all the new national championship years on it? If you haven't printed them up yet, what are you waiting for?
Those should have been
kidding me.
Those should have been. You should have been camping outside that van on the side of the Graymont. No, that's a different thing.
Down by the river.
Yeah,
exactly.
And those have those things ready to go.
Yes, come on. I want to know that. All right, when we come back, big announcement here on the program. So everybody needs to clean their ears out and be listening up and watching us when we get back, because we got some big news we're going to drop on you when we return. Also, Barry, in about 12 minutes from now, Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, he's going to join us a little earlier today. He's got some big Moneyline business going on in hour number 2, so we had to move him up a little bit. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, at the top of hour number 2. And our man, the voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, in our tour of the SEC. It continues with the Hogs today. He'll join us at the bottom of hour number 2.
Glad to have you with us here on the Wednesday show, the Train in Vain show. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, back at it here, about 21 minutes past the hour on a Wednesday. So glad you're with us. Barry, the River Region Straw chat line is hopping early today. We appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
You can also get in on our email inbox, Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. And I bring that up because you're going to have to really be getting in on that during the football season.
Right.
Because beginning next Friday, Barry, or you can actually start doing it now. It doesn't really matter because we've got time stamps and days and whatnot, so we know when you send it in. But probably let's just wait and start this next week. But we're going to go ahead and tease it for you right now. Every week, Barry, there will be a 1-carat diamond giveaway each week from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry right here on Longshore McKnight. And you're wondering, well, how does it work?
How in the world does that? Well, 1-carat diamond.
Got that right.
Oh,
yes.
All right. Okay.
It is a
this is news to me.
You're going to pick the score, and you're going to send us an email. We need the score of Alabama and whomever they're playing that week. Obviously, Alabama and Florida State will be week 1. Auburn and Baylor will be week 1. So we need the score. Alabama, Florida State, Auburn, Baylor, and of course, as the weeks go on, whoever their opponent will be, same type drill each week. And if you pick the exact score in those games, you are going to win a 1-carat diamond from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. We'll do it every week. We could have a winner every week. Lyle says, hey, let's go. I got plenty of diamonds. And he's giving them away.
Goodness.
You can pick the 24-17 and 13-10. Boom, you're a winner. How about that?
Good gracious. And the good thing about it, not only are they extraordinarily helpful at Marguerite's, it's great, but they keep secrets pretty well.
Yes,
I mean, you know, if you're about to pop the question to somebody and you've bought an engagement ring and they happen to see her there, they don't say, hey, you win a 1-carat diamond ring for being, for being the best picker that week, being right on it. They ain't going to tell her, oh, yeah, he won it. No, yeah, he came in. This is great.
Yeah.
This is great. How about Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry?
This was actually Lyle's idea. He came up with it. I mean, how about this guy? So we'll give you more information as we get closer to kickoff, but Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com is how you'll enter. Just give us the scores. And if you hit them spot on, you are winning that 1-carat diamond. We'll do it every week. We can have a winner every week. And I'm going to little tease this a little bit as well, Barry, but for the national championship game, that diamond's going to be even bigger. So just think about that. Just think about that. We'll leave it at that.
Maybe Auburn will be in it to win number 10. Who knows?
Who knows?
Geez, that's awesome.
How about that?
All right. I got to get some clarification on this from you. We mentioned this yesterday. Last night, our buddy Travis Ryer, who is on with us every Tuesday, Ryer on YouTube. He handles a lot of different YouTube content, does a wonderful job. He mentioned that he has a Tuesday night show live every week on his YouTube channel, Ryer on YouTube, with Chase Goodbread.
Yep.
who is the sports editor. He's the new Cecil. He's the sports
Yep.
editor of the Tuscaloosa News. And we mentioned that he had a sit down with Alabama athletics director Greg Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things that I thought were interesting, and one of them I wanted to get some clarification on.
Okay.
They said, where does a new basketball arena stand? It doesn't necessarily mean like the location.
Wait a minute.
And Greg Byrne says, well, quote, well, we have a new basketball practice facility coming out of the ground. Teams seem to be excited. That's where they spend 90% of the time. Who else said that over and over?
Yeah.
He said Coleman Coliseum opened up in 1968, and we've got a lot of deferred maintenance on it. A lot of challenges with it. Why not, John? Back in the day when you and I were slugging it out on local radio, and you kept asking, when are we getting this? When are you guys going to fix that? Why didn't they just say, oh, that's deferred maintenance?
Yes.
That means they ain't fixed Coleman Coliseum like they're supposed to.
Yeah,
That
that's
wasn't
exactly
my question.
right.
The
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa News.
I mean, Barry, he could have sat down with me. I could have told him that.
Well, you're the one that told them that 90% of their time is spent in the practice facility.
Yeah, come on.
The Tuscaloosa, this is what I want clarification on.
Okay.
Quote, there have been rumblings about the Red Elephant Club and Yay, Alabama unifying in some works. I think Yay, Alabama is the NIL. Is that in the works? And Greg says, quote, there has been some discussion of what Yay, Alabama and the Red Elephant Clubs look like going forward. I understand concern that we don't just want to have this bucket over here, that bucket over there, this other bucket somewhere else. We know season tickets and Tide Pride and the Crimson Tide Foundation have to be a priority. Balancing that with Yay, Alabama now, too, which is the NIL. Is there an opportunity to make Yay, Alabama stronger by having that and Red Elephant Clubs be more closely aligned like so much else? That's to be determined. Is there any mention about the machine in there?
First of all, what is he talking about? Red Elephant Club. What is that? Huh? What? Come on.
I don't get
Greg,
it.
He shouldn't be bringing that up in public. But since he did, are they not one and the same already? I mean, I got to think everybody that's in the REC is in Yay, Alabama, and vice versa. I found that one to be interesting. And while they're at it, maybe throw the machine in there as well, get some money out of them. They seem to be pretty good elections on campus. Maybe they could be good in fundraising as well. Matter of fact, they do pretty good job of fundraising to make sure those elections turn out the way they want them to. Did I just say that? Oh.
Again, it's Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com, or probably more importantly, it's Greggy at ua.tuscaloosa.edu.
EDU, yeah. The burn notice, I think, is what he calls it.
So anyway, interesting stuff.
Look, I've been saying
the Red Elephant Clubs, I didn't think you could acknowledge.
Yeah, really.
You're the athletic
I know people, there again, it's like this national championship business. That's what it is in Tuscaloosa with the basketball arena. Well, Auburn's got a new arena. We need one too. No, you don't. You don't need one. I mean, the players are there 40 minutes a week. Come on. The fans might want one, and I get it. It's not the greatest place to watch a game unless you have floor seats. Not to say
that's what the Moon says. He says no new arena. Spend it on NIL.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean,
and NIL's not just football, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we have talked to coaches in Tuscaloosa, and they all tell, from Nate Oates to all of them. We're more interested in NIL these days.
The word is that Bruce Pearl backed off of his demand for an upgrade to Auburn's practice facility for that same reason, and he blatantly said it. He said, man, we need that money in NIL.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, yeah, that's good stuff from Chase and Travis. Need to check that out. Travis mentioned that, of course, here on the program yesterday. We certainly appreciate that that heads up on it. So that's good stuff. Really appreciate you bringing that up. But yeah, come on, new arena? No. Don't need it. Don't need it. Got a bigger fish to fry.
Has passed
than that. I mean, and if you watch the games on TV, do you really? I mean, does the arena matter? I don't know. People say it's too dark.
It is. That's the only problem with it. Can you get some floodlights in there that don't hamper their? That was one of the things about Coleman Coliseum anyway. It actually is a very good shooting arena because you don't have the low lights down there. You don't have any lights. So up in the top, it's dark as heck. You can do some, passionate necking up there, but it's difficult. It does not look good on TV.
Is it Madison Square Garden or the old LA Forum that was always, all you could see was the court. You couldn't see anything surrounding the court. It was so dark in there.
Yeah. This is the, and we don't want to get in the weeds too deep on this. Bama Greg says arena looks like a dungeon.
Yeah.
Dark. The seats look like crap.
Yep.
And and the students aren't in the front seats. Another Longshore platform in his
it's a
diatribe.
little
And he says
historic.
old timers say
yeah. Well, that's the same case in football, Greg. Those old timers sit on their butts at football games too. But I get it. If they could reconfigure the seating, which I know they've looked at, but I think the cost of it would be just astronomical. Kind of tough to do that. But you're going to spend $100 million on a basketball arena, really? I mean, come on. I just don't think that's a smart investment.
Yeah, but we need to get that kid from Mobile. Come on, let's go.
That's what it happens there. All right, I believe after our next break, Josh Harris is going to hop on with us here, the Moneyline Magician. Also, Barry, our man John Dent, very active on the River Region Straw chat line. He's also active on our email account as well. He has forwarded us a very interesting article that I want to touch on later today as well that I think is really big for college football teams. And some of them have an advantage in terms of upperclassmen, experience, returning starters. We'll talk a little bit about that later today as well.
Always good stuff. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the River Region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. Riverbank and Trust.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here. About 27 minutes to the top of the hour. Our man Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, joining us a little earlier today on this Wednesday. We really appreciate it. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you. I was just with my mom yesterday, and I was like, man, they moved some people around for old Moneyline Magician now.
Yeah. There's a lot.
My head's this big.
There's a lot of things we do on the fly around here, kind of like Auburn. Did you see any of this 7 extra championships coming? I marvel at number one, Auburn finally did it. And number two, unlike most of the time when I'm dealing with Auburn, and I've dealt with Auburn a lot, man, they kept that tight as a drum. Nobody knew.
I saw that through you all, through Yellowhammer, and I was just I'm just laughing to myself because sure. I mean, claim them, but what a time to start claiming natties, right? We were claiming, I get it. The whole Alabama claims these natties that aren't theirs, blah, 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 blah. But like to retroactively go back and be like, we're so bad now, we're going to spend our time not focusing on the current team, but we're going to go back and start claiming things that from the past because we just don't see any movement forward. So let's just go claim things from it. They can claim them, sure. There's been crazy things, but it's a really strange time.
Well, I think that's an interesting point, Josh, because you're not the first person I've heard say that. Does it put more pressure on Hugh Freeze and his team to go to Waco and make sure they win the game? Because if they come back with a loss, all this national championship hoopla from yesterday isn't going to matter.
I mean, this is Auburn Tigers' 10 national championship team now. This isn't Auburn 1 or 2 national. No,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's maybe I'd have to talk to I haven't talked to any of my Auburn buddies about what they think about it, but I think it's a pretty good marketing ploy.
It's a great marketing ploy. And I love this statement from John Cohen. I mean, I really sincerely do. There's no snarkiness here. That, he said we owe it to the honor of our student athletes, who rightfully claim that. And I'm thinking, well, one of them, I never thought this would happen, is a computer poll from 1913. I'm not sure how big the computer market was in 1913, but if you're doing it for the honor of all the students, all those guys, I mean, it's 112 years ago. All those guys are dead.
I saw senior living in the senior living communities with that taser I was showing you all behind me the other day.
That was cool. Yes.
So I probably there's some old folks, they might still be alive, man. So kudos to them. Maybe I'll next time I see them, I'll congratulate them on their big win from 1913 from the computer poll.
Yeah, I love that.
I was telling Barry, I was with some Auburn people last night. They were celebrating a lot of revelry, their natties and whatnot. Didn't have their new T-shirts on, but maybe they're going today to buy those. And there were some Bama fans there as well. And there was a lot of talk about, maybe Bama needs to start a movement to get rid of the 1941 natty that's somewhat questionable and really go after that 1966 natty that they got screwed out of.
Yeah, it's a matter of do you want to go into these details right now and start going in and claiming we could switch, like you just said, we could switch some out, do this and that, but I haven't heard of a team. Have you all heard of a team that's has done this retroactively like this? I've heard of UCF claiming the national championship that year.
Yeah.
But I have not, unless I'm missing something.
Oh, yeah.
Might be.
It has happened. Wayne Atchison, the hallowed Wayne Atchison.
Mm-hmm.
He picked up, I think, he was a former Alabama sports information director. And he did some research over the summer, and he came up with the Donkel and the Litkin house and the Helms and stuff. And Alabama went from whatever it was, a sizable number, 6 to maybe 12 or something like that. And that really, he would like John and I were talking about, he's the father of retroactive national champions because everybody else does it now. And now, the big question, number one, how did Auburn keep all this quiet? They were going to do this. And number two, John's question is what took them so long? If they were going to do it, why didn't they do it then? The story goes, Josh, that I think Gurn Jr. was trying to get a hold of the guy who had the computer poll that retroactively awarded the 1913 national championship to Auburn. I think Gurn Jr. was going to try to get that guy on the air, but couldn't do it. He called the house and couldn't do it. And Gurn says, well, why not? And he says, well, my mom won't let me because a school bus comes by at 7:15. So couldn't do it. So.
Well, you know what? Then let's retroactively, let's audit all of them. You know what? Let's just go back and, and if our national championships go down, so what? I mean, honestly,
I agree.
It's like, so I would not be offended. And I know there would be a lot of Alabama fans that were offended or a lot of fans in general that offended. But me personally, I don't care about any national championships from 1920, 1930, 40, 50 that we won 8 games or 7 games and claim the, Dr. Pepper Bowl, national championship with the, whatever, just.
I'm with you, Josh. If it goes from 18 to 13, so what? Big deal.
I'm also okay with Auburn. I'm honestly okay with Auburn claiming retroactive national championships because in my mind, I mean, you got to be a little delusional to actually, to claim those yourself. Alabama fans that say we won all these national championships and can sit there and argue with you that when we won 6 games, we were national championships or just, I mean, that's just not a good argument. I'm not going to say,
Josh Harris, our Moneyline magician. One more quick Auburn note, if you will indulge us here. This is from our River Region Straw chat line. Agree or disagree? Range Pro says, I'm no Moneyline magician, but some good friendly advice. Get on Baylor +2 now before it goes down. Early thoughts on that one, or is it too early, Josh?
So I like the bet, but whatever I bet on against Auburn or with Auburn, I'll let y'all know. Fade it. I can't tell you the last time Auburn, whether I bet on them or against them, has won me money. It has been if I bet on them, they'll lose. If I bet against them, they'll win. If they're a 3-point favorite, they'll win by 2. I mean, that's just so. But I think it's going to be tough for them to go on the road, and I think they're going to see early that Jackson Arnold's not the guy. And for their sake, I hope they see that week 1 or week 2 so they don't have to drag it on throughout the season. So I think it's not my first pick, but I don't think it's awful. So I'm not taking it. But on the road at Baylor, I just don't know how good Baylor is. They've been pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about this one, Josh. I know a lot of people are already zeroing in on a lot of games. I'm certainly looking at that one. The line's bounced around a lot in the offseason. I've got some thoughts on it. I think I'm going to hold off on next week as I am for the Alabama-Florida State game. Josh, I know everybody's looking at 2-10 and Bama's a double-digit favorite, which they were twice on the road last year and lost straight up. I think Alabama can win the game next week. I'm just not sure they can cover that number. I know we'll get into that a lot more next week, but that's kind of my initial feel for that game.
Yeah, I week 1, I'm not taking Alabama or Auburn. I just can't. There's enough entertainment value to where I don't need to bet on Alabama or Auburn week 1.
It is a great week. That's maybe the best week of regular season college football I've ever seen.
And I don't know if you all have seen me stand up, but I'm a pretty round guy, and I live in Atlanta. And so I got a buddy of mine that's a Syracuse fan, and he invited me to the game, and he said, I've got an extra ticket for you, but you've got to wear a tight orange shirt and dress up as Otto or you don't get the ticket.
Done. Count me in. All right, so this we have won the spectrum of emotion in reaction by Alabama fans to the news that Jam Miller is going to miss Pacific time. Season's over. We're toast to we'll just plug in another 5-star, 245-pounder. Daniel Hill's the man. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I'm disappointed. I don't know if the word's nervous, but I hate not. I mean, that guy we looked at last week in the picture. That's just the off season of. I mean, he's been eating good and working out well and working out good, right? So I hate we're not going to be able to see him play.
Yeah,
we do have. I was just so set on him being the guy. I'm a little nervous because I hadn't paid attention to anybody else, but we know. We do have it. We always have a ton of running backs, but it makes me a little nervous. I really don't. That was not a guy that I wanted to lose.
There's talk that he could be back for the Georgia game, which is 5 weeks from now. We'll see how that plays out. I hear you. I think they can make it through the first 3 in the off week with the stable of running backs that they've got, Josh. And I think from Georgia on, they're going to need that depth, and they're going to need a guy like Jam. And a lot of people have said his ability, I just can't wait for it. Here it comes. His ability to block, pick up the blitz, help Ty Simpson get a little bit more time. There's been a lot of running backs that could tote the mail. They just couldn't block very well. They're going to miss Jam Miller's protection in the backfield, I believe.
Yeah, especially with Ty Simpson back there, right? He doesn't have a ton of experience. So if we could give him some time, that'd be great. And that's a key that's a key to the protection that people don't always realize. It's not always the offensive line. It's can that running back step up and put his face mask into somebody. And let's just hope these other guys can do that, because we knew Jam could do it. But let's see if the backups can do it. And it's a big deal. It is a big loss. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Well, one thing I did also see, I'm glad you brought that up. I just thought about it. Kalen DeBoer made it a point that spring, off-season, and preseason camp was going to be more physical this year, that it was not physical enough last year. And maybe that's the way they did it in Seattle, but in the SEC, he realized, people got in his ear, you got to be more physical. And he realized being physical, there could be some injuries that come along with it. So they kind of weighed out the pros and cons. I get it. It's a physical game. I think you got to be physical in this league. You can't be, touchy-feely. And somebody got hurt. Next man up. Hopefully he's back in 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's first off, I think there's a lot of things that are going to be more physical in Tuscaloosa than Seattle. Just outside of football.
Outside of sorority row?
Right.
That's more touchy-feely. At least that's John.
I don't remember Saban's daughter. Didn't she beat somebody up at the 5 house or something?
Chris and Saban don't play. And
need some of that energy.
We learned that early on. But I do think it's good. I mean, I hate the injuries. Injuries are going to happen, but when you're having physical practices, which is what you need to do to show up on week 1 and be ready. You can't be dilly-dallying around being soft in practice, not hitting each other, and then come out on the field and expect to play. Now, obviously, there's negatives of that, but I think overall the rest of the team will be ready to play. And once the season starts, I'm sure the physicality will reel back a little bit, obviously, because you've got games during those weeks and you can't keep doing that. But if you come through our off season, we had a bad injury towards the end, but overall everyone stayed pretty healthy. We didn't lose anybody in the transfer portal, and we've got most of our guys coming back ready to play. So I think it's just a necessary negative that comes with being physical in practice.
Hey, listen, we appreciate you being flexible in your time. Appreciate you coming on with us now, and enjoyed it very much. Appreciate you.
Look forward to next week.
Good to see y'all.
Thank you. The Moneyline Magician, Josh Harris, joining us here on the program today. I'm like him, Barry. I need a little bit more time. It's not game week yet for Auburn going to Baylor, but I've got some feel on it. Obviously, Range Pro's already got a good feel on it as well. I'm sure next week we'll get into that.
See, and that's another thing the Phantom keeps telling you over and over again. You don't have to we know you're excited. We know you're giddy. It's been a long off season. You don't have to say, oh boy, they're playing. I'm going to play, the Thursday night games tomorrow night. Oh, the Friday night games tomorrow night. By the way, there's no Sunday game. The last game of the NFL preseason is 9:00 Saturday night. You don't have to do it just because they're playing. Oh, I'm excited. I'll go ahead and play Auburn. No, you don't have to.
You don't have to do it. You really don't. Do not let emotion drive your selections. That's why I learned that as a little Phantom years ago. Yeah. Don't let emotion drive your selections. You got to do a little research. All right. So we got a lot going on.
Somebody has asked this, and it's a legitimate question. Plainsman Preston says, where's CJ? Well,
11 minutes from now, Preston.
CJ's coming, Preston.
He'll be coming
soon on Longshore and McKnight.
Hey, look at it. Whoa, Dennis Mitchell coming hard today. Look at Dennis. Wow.
Oh, I did see that in the middle of our conversation. Since you and Barry are no longer on radio, the Montgomery radio market really. Oh, yeah. Dennis.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that.
Exception is killer, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good one. And Dennis, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. Bama does not need a new basketball arena. Don't need them.
It's about being in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Which is 25 years in, almost.
Well, you know what the 21st century is? NIL. That's the 21st century. That's what it's all about.
The money goes into the players rather than the facility, unfortunately. 10
We're
minutes
also
left.
going to disagree, Dennis, with Florida State and Clemson coming into the SEC. Don't need them.
He said that before. Don't like it. Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 8 or 9 minutes until the top of the hour. Barry, I mentioned an article that our man John Dent forwarded us today. I really appreciate him doing that. It's from CBSSports.com. College football returning production for 2025. List of starters coming back from every Power 4 team. This is very detailed and a lot of research. And we'd heard about Penn State. We'd heard about Clemson, how many returning starters they had coming back, people with experience. Arizona State, you mentioned them yesterday, a team that Alabama might face in a playoff game. A lot of people are predicting that. They have 17 returning starters coming back. Wow.
Yeah, they don't have their best players, Cam Scatteraboo. See, that's the thing about it is, you know, we're going through some of these schedules kind of lightly, and John says, I mean, you know, Missouri and Arizona State, you know, Arizona State was a college football playoff team last year. Missouri was ranked in the top 10 last year. Oh, but you know, they're Arizona State, they're Missouri. You know, some of those guys are pretty good. That's one of the reasons why Clemson is so highly rated. They've got 16. Alabama has 14 off of a 9-4 team. One of them is Jamarian Miller, who's not going to start the year.
No. There's a few of those, yeah.
And in this day and age, experience matters. Starters returning, it does matter, John, but a lot of times, if you've got a guy coming in via the transfer portal that's a 3-year starter somewhere else, that may not reflect in this particular listing, but it matters. You know, so you get somebody like Arizona State. There's some retention there. What that speaks to almost as much as just, you know, having that experience on the field is evidently somebody like Kenny Dillingham is doing things right. Keeping the guys there. Their NIL is strong. Their revenue share plan is strong. They've got happy guys on their team that aren't transferring out just as a matter of course at the end of a year. So in a lot of different ways, it's really indicative of the health of your program.
Yeah.
And how good your football team's going to be. But in a couple of cases, it doesn't mean as much as it used to, simply because of the transfer portal.
Barry, one of my also classic lines, if I do give myself some credit, and I think this actually, you were talking about Auburn many, many, many years ago, and they had some returning players coming back, and I hit you up with, well, is that the good news or the bad news?
Yep. And I've heard that several 100,000 times.
Yeah.
Since.
So looking at this article that John forwarded it to us, and I really appreciate this. This is stuff I really like. I like this kind of stuff. I wonder, is this the good news or the bad news? As I mentioned, Penn State and Clemson with a lot of returning starters coming back. That's why I like them to be in the national title game. A&M, Barry, even PM is warming up to Texas A&M. He thinks they've got a chance to make some noise in this league. I didn't really realize Alabama had 14 returning starters coming back. Maybe I need to pay more attention. How about Iowa State with 14? Don't they play this week? I think they do.
Yeah, they do. They've got the first game this week. They play on Saturday at 11 in the morning against Kansas State in Ireland. So
who has 11 returning starters? Here's a perfect example, Barry. Mississippi State's got 11 returning starters coming back. Ain't gonna help them.
Well, yeah. I mean, what were they, 4-8 last year or something?
Yeah.
They got everybody back.
That's right.
That means they're probably going to go 4-8 again, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, I always like to look at the other end of it.
Ooh, look at this.
Purdue, 6-6 Purdue, as John has called them ever since Auburn beat them in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Purdue's got one starter back. One.
Why do you think Malzahn left Central Florida? 4.
West Virginia's got 3. UCF has 4.
Ooh.
The word with Malzahn is that if he didn't get the golden parachute to get out of there and go to be an offensive coordinator at Florida State, he was just going to quit.
Yeah.
UCF. He was done.
That's the second time he's left a program to go somewhere of a, I don't know, at a lesser.
Catchier nation, catchier job.
Now, speaking of Florida State, Barry, only one returning starter, Landon Thomas, a tight end.
One returning starter on offense. They got 5 back on defense.
6 total. 6 total. Ugh.
And they have hit and again, when you're 2-10, you don't necessarily want a lot of starters back. And they have done really well in the transfer portal, or at least, they've gotten a lot of highly rated guys. North Carolina, like Florida State, has 6 returning starters. John, they have got 70 new players at North Carolina. 70.
Wow.
You can only have, 85 on scholarship. Or you used to could only have 85 on scholarship.
Well, and you've
70 new players. And they needed new players. So sometimes LSU has 7 returning starters. But they absolutely loaded up on transfer guys. LSU's ain't nobody picking LSU at the bottom of the SEC. I promise you that, with just 7 starters back.
Baylor with 13 returning starters. Auburn's opening day opponent on the road. An interesting number there as well. It depends on who you've got coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to Auburn in 2010. They had a lot of production coming back on that team. I'll never forget Kirk Herbstreit saying that. And I went, I never thought about that, Kirk. That's a good point. And they went on to win the national title and ended up retiring one of the players' jersey numbers too.
There you go. There you go.
That's good stuff. John, thank you for forwarding that to us. That's some good information today on the program. We always appreciate that. If you got a little nugget you think that we'd like or our viewers or listeners would like, go ahead and forward it to us. We're happy to do that. We certainly appreciate it.
It's especially good if all of a sudden you see something or have a thought or something while we're not live. You can send it to us.
That's right.
Obviously, when we're not live, you can't add anything to the chat line, but you can send it to us. Hey, I got a thought. Let me get it to Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com, and they can address it when they come back, when they get along. So, always good to see that. Yep. There was also this, and this came Yahoo Sports. Who knows? This may be on the Gurn Jr. line. The top 3 biggest winning bets in U.S. history. Since we're going to be talking betting, since, Lee Sterling is not far away and the Phantom is not far away and Ralph Michaels from Wager talking the Gold Sheet not far away, the U.S. now has legal sports betting, John, in 40 states. Missouri is going to be the 41st. That's going to come before the end of 2025. 40 states, 9 do not. And large wagers have increased, not just wagering, but large wagering. We'll get into some of those a little bit later on in our number 2.
You know how to push my buttons. You knew this is something that's going to get
40, about to be 41 states in this country of ours where you can.
Well, let me just give you another little hint.
Yeah.
In 2026, you're going to be hearing me talk a lot more about this subject again.
Yep.
And I'm going to keep talking about it.
In 27, in 2028.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully in 26 we can get something going on it because
hopefully,
we're really pushing it. And it's, for the benefit of the entire state. But am I going to get on my soapbox today? But everything was going great, Barry. You had to bring that up.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back. Yeah. And we'll bring up CJ Duncan. Yellowhammer News is going to join the program. We're into our second live hour of the Wednesday show. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes past the top of the hour, and our next guest joins us each and every Wednesday, CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. And CJ, I was thinking, first of all, welcome into the show, and I was thinking last Friday was our 1-year anniversary of Longshore McKnight, and I think you've been here from the get-go, man. We appreciate your time on with us.
Thank you for including me. That's a great accomplishment on y'all's part, and I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
Hey, we're happy to have you a part of the team as well. Getting close, CJ, getting ready. We've got a couple of questions here and there as we get ready for football. First of all, I wanted to ask you, Hugh Freeze earlier this week was talking in his press conference that Jackson Arnold, no question, number one quarterback, but he says against Baylor, it is possible, maybe probable, that he would also play Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight at quarterback. Does that sound like a good idea to you, CJ?
It's the worst idea. It's the worst idea that he could have going into the season. You know, college teams don't have preseason games, and I understand the concept of, but their preseason, the NFL, is during camp, right? But the official end of camp has already happened for the college team. So therefore, we need to know who our leader is, who our starter is. We need to understand exactly what we're getting ourselves into going through the season. You don't want guys questioning themselves or who they need to listen to when it's time for the season to begin. it's such a brutal schedule, grueling schedule in the SEC, and you're trying to decide whether you like Deuce or if you like Jackson or you like both of them, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And guess what? Every quarterback throws the ball just a little bit different from a receiver's perspective, and from a center's perspective, everybody's cadence is a little different. And so all those things matter when it comes to chemistry. And if you're rolling into the first game and not sure who's who, I hate to see what it's going to look like for the Auburn Tigers.
We're trying to figure out why somebody calls a first down play and another coach calls a third down play and the head coach is there to override it if he doesn't like it. To me, that seems confusing.
It is, and all of that is going to be, I'm sure, in the quarterback's ear right before the snap. Right, you still have a play clock that you have to get this thing in by, and then you have to verbalize that to your teammates, make sure that everybody has their assignments, and they have to go line up all within that short period of time. And so, if the coaches are over there arguing about which play to call, it's going to be hard for them to get the ball off. You're going to see a lot of delayed games with the Auburn Tigers this year. I just don't see how that's going to work and how that'll be efficient. And everybody has a different scheme. Everybody has a different way of thinking when it comes to offense. And so you have three different minds. Although they may have talked about it during the week, they may want to do different things in different situations.
Right.
And their time management is going to be a lot different. So say it's the end of the half and it's second down, but you only have 30 seconds left. Who's making that call, the head coach or the second down coach? You know, that to me, that is, and it also depends on how if you're down or if you're up. You know, sometimes you just want to take it into the half, especially if you're deep in your own end. So a lot of factors go in to calling plays, and if you got multiple people doing it, it's going to be hard to close halves and finish halves.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Yeah, when you see the quarterback with his hands over his ears and he's waiting and waiting. Yeah, he's looking at the play clock.
Patrick Mahomes is always doing this. They make fun of him, but he's saying replay the call, so I can say it again.
Yeah, watch out for that. If you see that happen, if you see delay of game penalties on the offense when it doesn't really look like there's a reason why, that very likely is going to be the reason why. Characterize what kind of an impact it would have on Alabama to lose their starting running back in their next to last scrimmage of the preseason, CJ.
It's tough because J.M. Miller is an excellent player. I see him to be an NFL guy at some point. But his injury not being significant still gives the team hope. And luckily at the running back position, I'm sure Alabama's got four more guys back there that are, this close to J.M. Miller in talent. That was probably the hardest position to have to grade this offseason because they always have such good running backs. So I think it's fine for the first few games. Running backs, you run right, you run left, you run tough, you run hard, and the offensive line will pick you up whenever you fall forward. So I think it'll be fine for the first part of it. I think the main focus is going to be on the quarterback position.
Well, no doubt. That's exactly where everybody's going to be zeroing in on. Be looking to see how Ty Simpson adjusts or adapts to being the starting quarterback from day one. Hearing a lot of great things, CJ, but we've been hearing a lot in this, preseason. I'm ready to see it. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
I want to see everything I've heard about to see if it's going to become a reality. I know we'll get into this more next week, but as teams are transitioning from 2 or 3 weeks of preseason camp, some scrimmages into game week. What are the big differences there? Really, I guess, in the locker room or just the way the team is feeling, kind of getting that part of camp behind them and focusing in on game week?
I think now it's all about routine. You're trying to figure out whether you're a veteran or a young guy. You're trying to figure out what your day looks like each day of the week leading up into game week, leading up into the game. And so finding out what your routine is, what you like to eat, how long you like to stay in study hall, what time of day do you want to be in study hall? How much treatment do you need? All those kind of things matter. You don't need to be figuring that out halfway through the season. That's something you should be kind of working through now and speaking with your academic counselors and your trainers about what you need specifically. Of course, there are going to be team-oriented things that you've got to be at, but in order to survive this league, you've got to do stuff on your own as well. And so I think you're going to see a lot of that, and you're going to see coaches really dial in on old tape of the team that they have coming up and maybe the first two teams that they have coming up, just so they can create a little gap there. But I think it's going to be really routine oriented. The coaches are going to put them in game-like situations now a lot more than they did during camp. There's going to be less hitting. They're going to try to pull off of them a little bit so they can get their legs underneath them. But once a week, usually you'll have a very intense practice and then they'll pull right back off of you. So it's really about preparation right now, and mentally knowing where you need to be and how fast can you get there.
This is also, as we speak about how difficult it is in another league, this is also the time you're getting into the last weekend of preseason games in the NFL. And you've, of course, got plenty of experience there. And you're starting to see, like yesterday, Cleveland announces Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback. The Colts, my brother-in-law's favorite team, Daniel Jones instead of Anthony Richardson. You see Anthony Richardson, who's a tremendous athlete, can do everything, and you start to have this subculture of NFL quarterbacks. It seems like Richardson's that way. Zach Wilson and Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, guys that were really, really highly thought of quarterbacks. And now, it seems as though they're in that treadmill of falling short, and now they're career backups and stuff like that. What's the difference, CJ?
It's consistency, honestly, and sometimes NFL can be luck of the draw. It really can be. You got to fall into the right situation a lot of times, whether you're a quarterback, whether you're a receiver, defensive lineman, regardless of position, you've got to fall into the right situations. Sometimes you get drafted because you're best available, not because the team needs you or the team has the infrastructure to develop you, right? And so I do think in the Anthony Richardson situation that he got dealt a pretty good hand, actually. But with injuries and inconsistency and no real growth between years 1 and 2, it kind of hurt him. The writing was kind of on the wall when they brought in Daniel Jones, who's gotten multiple opportunities. But you got a situation where the coach is like, look, my job's on the line. If I go and have another losing season, then I'm out of here. So I've got to go with a guy who I can trust to hit a 5 and out or a dig over the middle, can convert third down, keep the chains moving, no pre-snap penalties, stay in front of the chains. I got to have a guy like that right now. This explosive guy, I love everything that he could be, but he's not who he can be right this second. And, the Zach Wilsons of the world and Trubisky's, certain guys, they're just backup quarterbacks, and that's okay. You still make a lot of money. You make a really good living as a backup quarterback. And so, but that is also an attitude, and the team has to see you as such, right? So if you want to take on that role because starter is just not happening where you're going, you got to go into the attitude of building up the starter. You got to be a good supporter. You got to be a good teammate. You got to go in without any reps, taking mental notes, and go and convert a third down in a tough situation. You got to be able to do those things. But if you're the guy that's always trying to jump in front of the starter, you're always trying to overly compete, that's the quickest way of getting cut. So it's like you're wanting to achieve, but not achieve too much, right? So I think certain guys have kind of Chase Daniels back in the day did a great job of that, and God rest his soul, Tavares from Montgomery, he did a great job of that. There's certain guys that just understand their role and played at a very high level, and so the guys got to make a decision where they want to go.
And the way I understand it, CJ, particularly once the season starts, if you're a second or third team quarterback on a team, you're not taking a lot of reps during game week.
Oh no. Well, and I think this generation may be a little different than the older generation, but there's so many stories about Peyton Manning. I've heard him say it out of his mouth. He was like, my whole career, I wasn't letting the backup take reps. That's more opportunity for him to get comfortable, and try to beat me out. So, I think the good ones understand that the reps matter, and everything needs to become kind of second nature, where you're not thinking a whole lot. You're just playing. You're playing fast. But a lot of it is too. The more he gets reps, the more comfortable he gets, and it takes one coach to be like, "Man, that was a good ball. I wonder if he can do that in a game." That it only takes one or two times for that to happen. And so the greats like Peyton Manning, and I'm sure Tom Brady was the same way. Those backups, they didn't hardly touch the field at practice.
So wait a minute. I've been blaming Charles Lee for all these years when really it was Mike Turk that didn't let me get any reps at Jeff Davis.
There it is.
Oh, okay, now I figured it out.
Yeah.
So it's really cutthroat in that regard, especially, I guess, early in camp.
Absolutely.
Preseason?
Absolutely.
Wow.
The veterans, especially if you're a young guy, kind of making some noise, coaches like you, those veterans aren't letting you get reps. They're like, "Nah, young fella, you wait till later on. Wait till red zone when we're not running routes or something. We're doing all the blocking. So yeah, no, it's real. It is a cutthroat business, and so therefore people have to adjust and do what they have to do to put food on their table.
That's
sure.
Exactly right.
And you talk about particularly this time of year with preseason, and you watch some of these games, and if a kicker misses a field goal or a guy drops a pass, the first thing out of people's minds are, well, he's getting cut tonight. He's going.
Yeah, that's it in every preseason game. And a guy makes a couple good plays, and their first comment is, "That's a good way to make a team." Everything is about being either making it or getting cut. There's no in the middle. It's no just like, oh, he's doing decent, everything, good day for him. It's like, no, this is a make or break play. Everything's a make or break play.
Really great stuff. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. Always great to visit with you, CJ. Cannot wait. Next week, we are really going to get into it for sure. Thanks for the time.
I'm excited. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, CJ. We enjoyed as well. Great stuff. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today on the program. Yeah, Barry, he was with us from the get-go.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that as we brought CJ on this morning. He's been with us from week one. So really appreciate that. Last Friday, celebrating our first anniversary. We got a cake brought to us out to Stivers.
That was nice.
That was really nice. Really
I had 2 pieces of it, ultimately. Hey, still to come, by the way, we will be able to get to the Phantoms Daily Dog. I guess if we want to recap last night or yesterday afternoon, we can spend a moment or two with that when we come back. Also, the voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, will be a guest coming up at the bottom of the hour of Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
I was checking out the chat line there during the commercial break.
Yeah, for those of you who want to enter the chat line, I think Chris, the Bammer, the Moon, I think has to have a cramp in his fingers by now because he's got 7 in a row before Plainsman Preston checked in. So he may give you a moment for you to enter in if you get a chance.
You got to act quick on this chat line. Draw chat line.
No doubt.
Tobias has checked in today as well from out in Arizona. Greg, John, I got to go. Dennis Mitchell earlier today. I don't know if we've heard from Robbie yet.
Yeah, it's kind of day by day. We can probably, if we really checked it, we could probably tell you just about every one of our chatters' schedule because yesterday, Jeff from Billingsley was all over it.
Yes.
Today,
Jeff from Prattville now. He lives in Prattville.
Yeah, Jeff from Prattville. Now, he'll always be Jeff from Billingsley.
Yeah, it will be.
We used to have interns back in the radio days. And some of these guys would be like, come back. They'd be like 38 years old and a car salesman and all that. And they'd still be Noel the intern. John, that guy's got kids, well, he's
still the intern.
So there you go. So, he'll always be Jeff from Billingsley.
He will. Taco Greg. I mean, he worked at Party City, but he's always going to be Taco Greg.
He also, a bunch of different places for him. Casino Greg, the whole deal. Well, yesterday, hopefully you paid attention.
Yeah.
Because in the Phantoms Daily Dog, John was presenting the Phantoms Daily Dog, and he told you more than once, look, Milwaukee and the Cubs play in the afternoon. They also play at night.
That's true.
There are 2 different numbers on those games. I don't know what's going to happen between the first game and the second game to make the number change, but the Phantom had an opinion on one of those games. He told you which game it was. Turns out it didn't really matter because the Cubs won them both.
Well, you're right, Barry. So you got lucky if you weren't paying attention and you just happened to play the early game instead of the late, or maybe you played them both. Who knows? But the Cubs did win both games yesterday, Barry, at Wrigley Field against the really good Milwaukee Brewers. But we were really focusing in on that. What do they call them? Twilight
doubleheaders.
Yeah, twilight. That's the game that we had, like the pitching matchup in that game.
Yes.
And so we went with it, and look out. The Cubs won it 4-1.
They did. Jameson Taillon was really good for Chicago. 7 hits given up. Milwaukee scored a run in the first.
I know. I was
a 1-0 lead.
A little nervous.
But that was it. They didn't score again.
Nope.
And the Cubs win it. Cubs sweep a doubleheader, which is big for them. Milwaukee has the best record in the major leagues, but the Cubs pick up a couple of games on that Milwaukee lead in the National League Central Division.
So the Phantoms Daily Dog, a winner yesterday with Chicago, 4-1 against the Brewers. So that was then. What you got for me today, Phantom? I know how you people think. I get it. It's part of the business. What do you have for me today? Well, I thought in Major League Baseball Thursday was getaway day. I'm learning that it seems that Wednesday's also getaway day.
Can be.
A lot of early games. 11:35 is the first game today, Barry. Blue Jays at Pirates.
Yeah, there are actually 4 games before 3 o'clock this afternoon. So a little lunchtime baseball, if you'd like.
That's right. You can take your daughter to the game today.
Skip Carey used to talk about that all the time. It's a businessman special, and evidently also take your daughter to the game day. And they'd show pictures of gentlemen there enjoying the ball game with young ladies, significantly younger than they were. Presumably it was their daughters.
That's right. Okay.
Presumably.
The great Skip. So I've come out of a Kroger, in Atlanta with a suitcase of Natty Light one night. It wasn't. It was like 6 o'clock. I think the Braves had played earlier that day. I went, man, this Skip Carey, look at that. And a Natty Light suitcase. How about that, Skip? Good job.
There you go.
All right. Today, Barry, we are looking at, this is actually not the earliest game because we got an 11:35, then a 12:05.
Right.
We're looking at a game that is the first pitch 12:10.
I like it. Yes.
12:10 today. It does say it's on the Major League Baseball Network, so you got that.
That is true. Yeah. From Detroit.
Yes. I know there's not a lot of great things in Detroit, but at 12:10 today, there's going to be. It's a baseball game. The Houston Astros are going to Detroit, or actually they're already there.
Yeah.
And Detroit is an underdog in this game. Detroit's catching 110 against the Astros. Astros 69-57, 31-30 away against the 75-53 Detroit Tigers, who are 41-24 at home.
And they're running away with the American League Central. They're 9 games up on the Royals. The Astros a game and a half up on the Mariners in the AL West. You have picked what I think is the spotlight matchup on the Major League card today.
So you got to act early. And we're going to get this out on Instagram early for people that might have missed it. We like Detroit plus 110 at home this afternoon, hosting the Houston Astros. That is the Phantoms Daily Dog today.
Yes, there we go. Coming up, Chuck Barrett, the voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks, good enough to spend some time with us as we roll on with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy,
we
quick
continue
pickup.
our
The
tour.
Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Okay, we continue our tour around the SEC. We're going to talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks. And our man Chuck Barrett, he's the voice of the Hogs, joining us here today. Chuck, thanks so much for being with us. Hope you're doing well.
Well, I am. Summer's over, isn't it, guys?
Yep, it's about that time. Alabama A&M beckons on Saturday, August the 30th in Fayetteville. What's been the tone of preseason preparation so far? Has there been a decided theme or a vibe, Chuck?
Well, there's a lot of new guys. There's 60 new players. So I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it's been, okay, that's number so-and-so. I got to look down at the piece of paper and make sure I know who that is. So I think that's a big part of it. I think the thing that those who are excited about it, look, when you're 6-6, there's going to be a split, among some of the people going into a new season. But I think for those who feel like things may go well, they're excited about the fact that, you've got a returning quarterback in Taylon Green, and he and Bobby Petrino now have been able to work together for a couple of years. I think Arkansas is going to be pretty good offensively. I think they've got a chance to score some points. Defensive line depth is always an issue in our league, and it's going to be an issue for Arkansas some this year too. But they've got good linebackers. They've got good safeties. They've added some corners, bigger corners than maybe what they had before. But I really do think that for Arkansas, it's not unlike a lot of fan bases. You're kind of waiting to see the present unwrap, to see what you have. And, we're getting closer.
Chuck, at SEC Media Days, I've always enjoyed hearing what Sam Pittman has to say. This year was no exception, but I got the sense that he knows what's on the table. He knows what people are talking about, and he's just going about his business and letting the cards, play out and land where they may.
Well, that's really all you can do is just go coach your team. That's all you can do is just go coach the team you have. And, he spoke at the Touchdown Club in Little Rock, for example, yesterday, and struck a very positive tone and said, hey, if you don't want to rank us, fine. Don't rank us. We'll surprise you. I've been around Pittman a lot, obviously, over his time here. The only time I've heard him speak so confidently about a team was the year before they went 8-4 and then won in the Outback Bowl. And I think you have to consider sometimes when a coach is on the hot seat, when people are everywhere you go, how many games does so-and-so have to win to keep his job? The last thing in the world that coach is going to do is, I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to win a bunch of games. That's not what coaches on the hot seat say. So when people say, well, he's just, he's spreading the joy or pumping sunshine, there's no reason for him to do that. That's what you do early in your tenure when you're trying to sell tickets. He's trying to keep his job. So there's no reason for him to get up there and say we're going to be a good football team if he doesn't really believe it.
I think it all starts at quarterback. Golly, was there anything Talon Green did last year, especially, the way he balled out in that bowl game, anything that he did that was really kind of a surprise to you at all?
Well, he took command of the team from the minute he walked on the campus. Sometimes guys have to feel their way through. Sometimes even quarterbacks. People say, well, you've got to earn that respect. Sometimes that's a process. Sometimes that doesn't happen right away.
Right.
Taylor's got a lot of natural leadership qualities, and he was the leader of the team the minute that he came in. Now, he's got to improve his accuracy. Most of the spectacular plays, and you talked about the bowl game, a lot of those plays are made with his legs.
Right.
I think what they would like this year is for him to become a more accurate passer, whether that be on the run or in the pocket. When they went out in the portal and went for linemen, offensive linemen, for example, they put a premium on pass blocking. Bobby Petrino is your offensive coordinator. That's why. So I think they'd like Green to do a little bit more pocket passing this year as opposed to always, being on the run. Offensive line's got a lot to do with that. He was running for his life a lot last year. I think they'd like to give him some more time. The reads, the progressions, the footwork, all of those things will be better if they're able to do that.
Looking at the schedule, Chuck, the first two you would think are manageable and winnable, certainly, but then you hit the road to Ole Miss, then Memphis, and then Notre Dame comes to town. Is the Notre Dame game, is this the reschedule from the COVID year?
It is, yeah. We were scheduled to play up there. I think that was actually the game that was the COVID year. Some of this stuff runs together.
I understand.
But initially, we were supposed to play up there, and that got canceled. I think that was the COVID year. That game, I think, is going to be played in 4 or 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be, home this year, away the year after that. We're also playing Arkansas State for the first time in over 90 years. Now, that's not a game that's going to whet the nation's appetite. I understand that. But here it's a big deal. And if there's a must-win game on Sam Pittman's schedule, it's that one. People say, well, it's not that big a game. Well, you lose that game, and you'll find out exactly how big it is.
Yeah.
So that's a big game. This is a fire-me schedule. I mean, it really is. Fire-me schedule, and he'll tell you that. But, yeah, 5 games in September. Where are you going to be at the end of September? There's an open week right after that before you go to Tennessee. Then you got 3 home games in a row. Can you be above 500? And I realize that some have loftier goals, and that's great. But I think realistically, when you look at this team, can you be above 500 coming out of September? And then can you take advantage of those 3 straight home games that you have in October? because in November you're going to go to Austin, you're going to go to Baton Rouge, and then you're going to play Missouri at home. And Missouri's not exactly been a layup for anybody.
Right.
You better do well out of the gate. And I think your point's well made there.
Yeah, that back-to-back road games at LSU, at Texas in November. Whew, wow.
Yeah, you better have some wins piled up, huh?
Yeah, maybe so. Chuck, tell me a little bit about the points of improvement that you see that are necessary on the defense for the Hogs.
Well, you got to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. Arkansas was not able to do that last year. They've gone out and they've got a couple of new rushers. One of them's from down there at Troy.
Yeah, my buddy Philip Lee. Yeah,
Philip Lee, they're excited about. And you've got to put more pressure on the quarterback, though. You can't. There's not a decent quarterback in this league that's not going to be able to pick you apart if he's got all day to do it. And that's if you stop the run. And Arkansas didn't do a very good job of that last year. So I think one of the big areas this year where I believe you'll see improvement. If you don't, it'll be like last year. If you do, it'll be better. Is in not turning the ball over and forcing more turnovers. Arkansas put the ball on the ground 30 times last year, guys. Now, they didn't lose all of them, but that's a lot of fumbles.
Yeah.
You do the math. And at the same time, they didn't force very many. So when you talk about defense in the modern era, I don't think you're going to ever see a defense again in our league that holds somebody to 8, 9, 10 points. That is not going to happen. Great defenses are situational now. They get off the field on third down. Look at your third down defense percentage. Look at the turnovers that you force. Look at where you force them. And do you score off of them? That's what good defenses do. I think Arkansas will give up some points, quite honestly. But I think that they can force some turnovers, too. They've got more playmakers over there. If you're going to be good, you got to have one or two guys that can change the game.
Chuck, I want to rewind a little bit and go back to the Arkansas State game in week 2. As you can imagine, here in the state of Alabama, there's a lot of talk about, well, why don't Auburn and Alabama play Troy? What went into Arkansas agreeing to play Arkansas State?
Well, this game's going to be played in Little Rock.
Right.
And the general consensus is the trade is we'll play Arkansas State, but this is going to be the last game in Little Rock. The contract expires for Arkansas playing in Little Rock at the end of this year. The general consensus is this is going to be it. And that's why you're hearing talk about now, will they play home and home? The reason I don't think this series will continue is because there's no way Arkansas is going to Jonesboro to play Arkansas. It's not going to happen. And nor in the business of college football is Arkansas State going to say, we'll go to Fayetteville every year. They're not going to do that. And I don't blame them. That's where the business of, you got to make money. You got to have games at home. So I think this will be a one-off. But the reason in large part that it happened, I think, is because that's a trade. This is going to be it for Little Rock, and it's probably going to be it for Arkansas and Arkansas State too.
That makes sense to me. One other local note here from you. I know people down here where we are in the Montgomery area understand being patient about KJ Jackson, the quarterback from down here at St. James. Redshirt freshman. He's got an established starter ahead of him. What do you see as the arc of KJ's career at Arkansas?
Well, if Talon Green was not as good as he is, I'd be leading the charge, saying put that guy out there on the field. They felt like from the very first day he got here that, you always have a starting quarterback and then you got a cluster of new guys. And everybody always wonders who's the next guy. They've said KJ Jackson from the beginning. He didn't play a lot last year. He played in the season opener. And man, he threw a rope for his touchdown pass. And but this is a big kid. He's got command of the huddle, got command of the field. He'll be Arkansas's quarterback, or at least competing for the job next year. You never know in the modern era, they're going to bring somebody in, or how's that going to work? But if it's a quarterback on this team right now, that's the quarterback next year, it'll be KJ Jackson.
Great intangibles with him as well. John and I have
Mhm.
interviewed him before. Wonderful kid for sure.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good in every area. He's good in all the areas you want a quarterback to be good in.
Chuck, we certainly appreciate your time as always. If we need any insight about what's going on with Arkansas, you are our man. And I know we're going to be touching base with you again as the season plays out. Of course, Auburn coming to Fayetteville in late October. I got a feeling we'll be touching base with you the week of that game.
I'll bet we do. Hey, I'm just glad it's here.
I am too.
Guys.
And we're glad you're here as well, Chuck. Thanks very much for the time. Good luck.
Thanks, gentlemen.
That's good
Thank
stuff.
you,
Chuck Barrett,
man.
voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I'm telling you, Barry, class of the league. Chuck's one of our favorites. He's been joining us for a long, long time as well. And, man, a lot of good insight as we continue our tour around the SEC. I think we have a couple of more to go. We'll get to them. Don't worry. I mean, the season doesn't start for, another week and a half. Yep.
There's a lot to still cover, and we'll get to it as well. When we come back, it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. It's weird. John's over here now.
I noticed that.
Despite the captions, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's
That's
Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Score big savings at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Prattville during the kickoff savings sales event. New 2025 Ram 1500s up to $21K off MSRP plus 3.9% APR for 72 months or 1.9% APR for 72 months. It's your choice. New 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $11K off MSRP. New 2025 Jeep Wranglers up to $14K off MSRP or 1.9% APR for 72 months. New 2025 Jeep Gladiators up to $13K off MSRP or 4.9% APR for 72 months. And Ram 2500s up to $14K off MSRP. Alabama and Northwest Florida's largest volume Ram dealer is in Prattville at Stivers CDJR, where Price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. 2209 Cobbs Ford Road and at stiverscdjr.com. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Oh, yeah, we are going to flip over eventually, I think.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
There we go.
It's just weird the other way. It messes.
It is kind of weird.
Messes with my head.
I'm used to being on that side of the room.
Yeah. By the way, I got something real quick as well. I've done the research John asked for earlier.
Oh, great. Awesome.
He didn't really ask for it. It's Longshore ask. It's like I could probably look it up, but I don't want to. So he didn't ask me to, but I did anyway. I'm looking at shop.auburntigers.com.
Yeah, let me see.
They have got 21 different online offerings for Auburn football T-shirts.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Not a one of them have anything to do with now 9 national champions. They do have some good ones. They do have one that says "Sport Your Stripes" with an Auburn helmet and the Auburn stripes there. They've got one with a hand holding a big roll of toilet paper. And it says "Roll On."
Roll Tide, yeah.
Roll on, rolling the toilet paper,
So here's my problem.
And they got one with I want to say it's Charlie Brown, but it might be Lucy because they're wearing an Auburn helmet while they're throwing a football. So they got some. It says "ready to roll." That's what the T-shirt says. Ready to roll with a toilet paper, a roll of toilet paper where the O should be and the word "roll." Pretty nice.
Okay.
Pretty
Well,
nice.
here's the way I see it, though. They came out with the announcement of we're about to be a Nike school.
Yeah,
but you can't buy this gear for like a month. I'm thinking, should you not make the announcement the same day you can buy the new gear with the smoosh on it? Thought that was a little odd. Now they're announcing retro natties, but you can't get a T-shirt to wear around and be loud and proud about it. Nor have they rolled Toomer's Corner, to my knowledge.
In the world that we live in, here's what they do have all over the place at shop.auburntigers.com.
Let me guess. It's great to be an Auburn Tiger.
No.
AU family.
Punt, Bama, punt. No, don't have that. No. That ain't there either. What they do have, as many as you want, personalized and everything, is football player jerseys. With their number and their name on the back, which you used to not be able to do, and a large portion of the sale of those jerseys goes to the student athlete himself. That's the day and age we live. They are marketing for their student athletes' brands so that they can get a little extra money. If you have a Jackson Arnold jersey, it's going to cost you a little bit more than an Isavion Too Tall Miller jersey. I'm just
all right, so I've never been a jersey guy, particularly a jersey with somebody else's name on it.
Yeah.
I know people do that. I've seen a lot of grown men in sports books in Vegas
I've
do
got
it.
I've got a couple.
And that's just never been me.
Right.
But, a T-shirt I can sport from time to time. I think they've kind of dropped the ball here on the T-shirt business. I mean, those things would have been fun. And maybe somebody's printing them as we speak. Who knows? Maybe somebody's organizing a Toomer's Corner roll-a-thon to signify these new national championships.
Maybe they're a little late coming from the suppliers, something like that. Could be.
Because, Barry, some of those shirts that they had printed up in 93 and 04 that are over in Indonesia, they're not going to be able to use those.
Yeah, you can't call the warehouse in Jakarta and say, "Hey, can you bring those back?" Things are 21 years old now.
Not gonna happen. All right, one other thing quickly. I don't know if you can pull this up. I'm trying to look for it, but heck, I can't find it.
All right.
Yesterday, you brought up proposed Major League Baseball realignment and expansion. I cannot believe Dennis Mitchell has not chimed in on this yet. This is one of his favorite things. Charlotte and Portland, allegedly, or what some people think of the two cities are going to get.
This is from Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball.
So one of here, I'm looking at it right now.
Here we are.
All right. So, I like this. It's AL West, Vegas, the Angels, Portland, and the Mariners. The one that got me is the one that you showed on the screen yesterday.
I'm looking at it.
Deal.
Yeah.
It looks great on that. I like the setup. I like how they've got the teams together. The Braves, the Marlins, Tampa Bay, and Charlotte would be the
right. Everybody else that you've seen, all the players, all of the managers, all the owners hate it. I don't like it. I don't like the Braves being in the American League. They've never been in the American League.
But this way the Braves once again get a weak division because you got an expansion team that'll suck for 6-7 years. Well, maybe longer
you got
than
the
that.
Marlins.
I mean, they weren't any good from 66 to 92, so it could be longer than that. Yeah, you got the Marlins, so Braves fans ought to eat that up. The only thing that bugs me, Barry, is everybody's kind of geographical, regional rivalries, things like that. Why do they not have Cincinnati and Cleveland in the same division? Of all the teams I saw on that thing you put up yesterday, and I was looking at it earlier, I'm thinking, why would you not have Cincinnati and Cleveland in the same division?
Cleveland's with the Pirates, the Nationals, and the Orioles. in the American League Mid-Atlantic. The Reds are with the Cubs, the White Sox, and St. Louis in the National League Midwest. I don't love, the franchises in the same town being in the same division. Yankees and Mets together, Angels and Dodgers will both be playing in the same division, and you've got the White Sox and the Cubs in the same division.
That doesn't bother me. I think it helps the rivalries, the interest, Charlotte coming here. Charlotte's the Atlanta of 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So is Nashville. I'm surprised Nashville doesn't want a baseball. No, you know what? I'll take that back. Nashville is a smart, rising, up-and-coming city. They're thinking, we don't want baseball. That's the last thing we want.
They'd love
Don't need it.
Anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
We do have a chance to squeeze in a couple on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel.
Before Robbie from Greenville? I mean, have you seen these two chats? I mean, unbelievable.
I have not.
Robbie wants to know why the Kansas State, Iowa State's getting no buzz. Robbie.
Robbie spends a lot of his time telling us everything we're doing wrong. You need to be talking about this. You need to be talking about that. Robbie, if you get yourself a small video camera, maybe a microphone, a laptop, and a YouTube account, knock yourself out. You can talk about whatever you want.
Would you be opposed to letting Robbie come on for like 5 or 6 minutes one day?
With every fiber of my being. With every molecule of my existence. No, I'm just kidding. He'd be good. Robbie would be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Robbie will might have to do that. But, we might have to have a special.
Now, see, John does this, and he'll say this. He'll say, come on by. We'll put you on the air to everybody. Or, we'll get you tickets to the Biscuits. Sure. And I'm thinking, how in the heck are we going to give all these people? We'll work it out.
That later.
Meaning, somebody else will work it out. Yeah. Somebody else will deal with that later.
Hey, man, can I come to John and Barry night? Sure. Heck yeah. Come on.
Yeah, we got 45 people milling around outside because John invited them all to a 16-person booth, So,
I just feel guilty about not saying no. I do not like saying no.
You are going to, if you were a woman, you'd have like 14 kids. But you've got Robbie. You know what Robbie's going to do? Hey, John, you remember when you said, Barry, he's going to wear us out about it. Anyway, let's get to
let's do it.
Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, presented by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22, I-85 in Shorter, Alabama. John and I haven't seen them, no idea what they are, and probably when they come up, we've probably got no idea where they are even then. Here we go.
That's the fun of it. That's what makes it great.
I like it.
You ready, Chris? Here we go.
We're better
going to land
working on our feet. Big retirement.
I like the sound of it.
John Wall, former Kentucky Wildcat, former Washington Wizard, 11 years, 5-time All-Star. He is retiring. He's going to be doing some television.
Okay.
He's going to be doing some TV. I want to say, they've got all of the stuff, all of the new NBA package, particularly ESPN. They got 3 different carriers. So they have changed up and are going to change up their studio show. MJ is going to be part of it. John Wall is going to be a part of it as well.
Outstanding.
Good guy. Yep.
Yeah. When's the NBA start? I got to get geared up for the NBA. When's
week,
that
2 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. Man, that's awesome.
All right.
That's a good one to kick things off with. Let's see what is next on the Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. Gurn Jr. puts these together. We have no idea what is coming up on
That's a good bit of research, which we appreciate.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Storms coming.
What do we got here?
Oh, yeah. I saw something on Twitter before I got on the air. There's already a big ocean surge in Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Should be some rain today. But there's going to be a significant amount of rain.
Wait a minute. How does this affect my weekend plans? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, this hurricane is Hurricane Aaron. This hurricane not really supposed to hit hard, but there's going to be a ton of rain, which means I still going to have a hard time mowing my grass. Which I
Yeah.
haven't been able to do.
Yeah.
But there you go.
I tell you. All right. We'll be keep an eye out on the weather. We like to be kind of inform you on everything that's going on.
Full service
Yeah,
show.
got
That's
that
all.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we have 3 more to go on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. Yellow, red, and blue. Victoryland exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama.
Was this about that time John went to Harrah's down there in New Orleans and had a
Yeah.
No. McElroy, Masters champion. What did he clear them out?
Wait a minute. Bought 1,000 what? Let's see here.
Masters flags.
Okay. Yeah.
He bought like 1,100 Masters flags. What the heck? So he can sign them and give them out.
That completed the Grand Slam for him, so he was able to
33,000 on the credit card.
Yeah, why not? Just think of all the points you get for that, Barry. You got to think that way.
Wow, I haven't seen that much on a credit card bill since Mike Price.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh,
so what is
no kidding.
So what's he going to do? Is he going to sign each one of them and auction them off eBay or something like that?
I mean, that 33 grand, he could get 10 times that on signing those Masters. I don't think Masters people like you going out and making money off their product, though.
Yeah, that's probably.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's just giving them out as, gifts.
They probably don't like that either.
Yeah. Chris the Bammer must be down on the coast. He says things are very calm at the Gulf of America today. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
I don't know. He got pretty wound up on the chat line a little while ago. He had 7 in a row. Define calm, Chris. Really?
Yeah.
You? I don't
Hey,
think
man,
so.
enjoying the sea and the sand and watching Longshore McKnight. What better? Can't get any better than that, can it, Chris?
Got
Come on.
that right.
All right,
Here we
2
go.
more to go. Let's see what we got. We got the Kansas colors working again today. Robbie let us know there's someone from Greenville that plays for Kansas. We'll get to that in a moment. Who's getting the big D?
Oh, boy.
What's happening here?
Who goes Gabby Wynette on us here? The DIVORC.
Yeah, the Cowboy.
Oh, if they get rid of Micah Parsons, that's the stupidest thing in the history of ever. I mean, he is their best player, and it ain't close.
Yeah.
All respect to Dak. But all he wants to do, he's not asking for anything he doesn't. Jeez. They're not even, they haven't even negotiated since March.
Come on.
Or April.
What are they waiting on?
Well, you are the king of negotiations over here.
Well,
so you make your offer and then you stay quiet. You say, okay, this is what, and then just shut up. The next person who speaks in that scenario loses leverage. Am I right?
Yep, that's correct. If you ever read the book, The Art of the Deal,
I have.
There you have it. And that guy's been dealing a lot lately. I got to tell you, I was impressed he got all those world leaders to the White House in 48 hours. That was pretty impressive.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we got one more to go. Got
one more to go.
Make it official. It is the blue panel, ladies and gentlemen.
This is
your Junior's Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel.
There's only one person I know named Bogarts, and it's not Humphrey. It's Sander Bogarts, who plays for the Padres. Fan interference. Ooh, Padres lose by a run. He hits a homer. All right, let's see if the fan interfered with it. All right, there it is. Likes it.
Yeah.
Left fielder back. And the fan reaches out and get it. And
you know what, Barry?
Did the fan do it? That's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
San Francisco. No, it wasn't the Giants fan. The fan came over. The fan
Whoa. Yeah, wait a minute. That guy dropped it. He didn't look, Barry, in football, if it hits you in the hands, you should have caught it. Same thing with the baseball player. If it hits you in the glove, you should have caught it.
You can't automatically assume a catch, though. Sure, the guy got in his way. I don't even know if he did touch it, but you can't just assume a catch. And it may not have gotten out anyway if the guy hadn't dropped it out of his glove and it goes over the fence. That's a bogus call.
Maybe Major League Baseball should push the fans a little bit further away from the field and stuff like that.
They're going to do it.
Sure, they're going to do it.
Natty lighter 2 in.
Yeah,
he says, oh, boy, I'm going to get a ball. And it costs them a run, costs them the game.
I remember sitting out on our veranda.
4-3 over
Barry, I remember sitting out on our veranda at Riverwalk Stadium watching a Biscuits game and a foul ball coming our way. I didn't know
that was in the 45 seconds that John actually sat on the veranda facing the field of play on John and Barry night.
True.
And it did happen.
Yeah.
He sits down, he says, hey, what's happening over here? What, 6th inning? And here it comes.
Bing.
John's like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
But it was out of our reach. We couldn't get it.
All right, end of story, Barry. Robbie says he watched Major League Baseball last night. No discussion of expansion. It's a non-story. That's from Robbie.
Well, see, that's why we save so much money. Our resources are pretty good, but we save money on a program director because we got Robbie. He'll tell us what's a story, what's not a story, what we should be talking about, what we shouldn't be talking about. Robbie will let us know our shortcomings.
Keep them coming, Robbie. We love it.
Cannot get enough of them. Yeah.
That's right.
We enjoyed our time with the Moneyline magician, Josh Harris. CJ Duncan, always great. Yellowhammer News. Great visit with Chuck Barrett from the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yes.
Going to be a pivotal year, I think, for Sam Pittman. Part of our tour around the SEC.
Barry, tomorrow, Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, will join us tomorrow. Also, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, sponsored exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. We will be at the Montgomery Regional Airport. Getting better the more you use it. I know there's a lot of people making fall travel plans. Make sure MGM is where you start and finish up your travels. Check it out, flymgm.com.
Travel above. More about that coming up on tomorrow's show. For Gurin Jr. and for John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.